Hello again, welcome back to Dark Cribs Creations tutorial on Vampire. I ain't got a name for it yet, but this is the Anna kit by Linda Murray. So on the previous videos we have done all the undertones, some of the veining, undertone details. So there she is. I've near enough finished the belly plate. As you can see, I've done the finishing touches to the veins, which I'm going to show you now. We just need to do the red tones, which I'll show you in this video. So I think I've done all the rest of the veining on the legs and everything. So if you watched the previous videos, they were all just the blue, which I did, the undertoning of the blue, which you see there on the veins. So I've started doing the 3D effect on those, which I'll show you now. So I use the crimson. You need to get it not thick, but thick enough so it's not just spreading out in like the blue did. The blue, it was quite thin to be able to get a thicker line, but you need a really thin line for this 3Ding. So not too wet on the brush, really thin lines, just follow the veining down, still keeping with the wiggliness, like so. And like I previously did, just drag the ends off like that, blot it down. So you can see that first one has gone all 3D effect now. So just carry on right down the vein, really light, don't press on at all, so it's as thin as you can get it. And there we go, that gives it a really good effect for the veining there. So I'll show you, I'll do the rest of this arm and I'll show you on the head. So I'll just drag them out. Just think it's a really good effect, especially for the alternative reborns, just to highlight all the veining details. I always say now they have the Dark Cribs blood running through the veins now. Right, so there we go. Just make sure you've got all the blue veins what you did previously, so you can see all this effect happening now. So like I said, I did all the veins on the limbs before I started the video. All those are done, so I'll just carry on with the head. I've just got a little bit in the palette here that's quite watered down. These are all my colours that I tend to use over and over again. I know it's a mess, but so I've got some that's quite watered down, as you can see, and then in the middle I've got more of the colour really, but it's thicker, so you don't get too much on your brush and it doesn't spread out everywhere. So okay, again, just check that you've not got anything on your hands. I tend to get it all over the kit and have fingerprints and having to clean it up. So you can see that. Oh, right up the middle, really faint. If you do end up pressing on a bit too hard, you can always dab it off. It actually helps with the veins if you're shaking a bit. So there we go. Drag that off. Blot it down just so that there. You see that big vein detail there? We go over it with another mottling layer in a bit, so it does tone down a bit, which you'll see. I'm just going to drag this bit down a bit more so it's going more into the eye. Like I say, you can add, but it's really hard to take away, so just build it up wherever you're wanting to go. A bit. They're not to everyone's taste, these the alternative reborns, but I just think you can do so much with them. Let your imagination just run wild. Like I said on the previous video, if you've got any anything in mind that you'd like to give a try, we could have a try together. I'll give anything a go. In dark cribs it tends to be vampires that I do, but if you want to try a zombie, we can have a look at doing zombies. I probably think it'd be round about the same thing really, doing zombies. You could do the same as this. Yeah. So yeah, just comment down below if there's anything you'd like me to try, and I'll give it a go. I'll video it all, and if it turns out, it turns out. If it doesn't, well, I'll always use it for something. That's what I mean, that's the beauty about the reborns. If they go wrong, you can change them and add to them. Like I said in the previous video, one of my kits actually melted in the oven, and it ended up having a really big cone head. It had melted inwards, so I tipped it upside down and it all stretched, so it had a really big cone head, but I still used it. I did all stitches, painted stitches around the head, and he ended up looking really effective. So yeah, no such thing as a ruined kit. you can always make something from it. Always make sure you drag the ends of the veins because it looks like it's burying into the skin then. So there we go. You can see all the undertones, all the veining. She's starting to come together. I have to get used to saying she. I always tend to do he's for some reason. Just watch for hairs on the end of your brush because it'll just make another line. So that's all the veining under the chin, all done. You can see they look like they stand out now. There we go. So what I'm going to do now, I'll do some of the red mottling. So like I say, I always have mine already pre-done once I've got the colour that I like. So make sure it's all mixed up from the bottom. Got your mottling sponge again. So just spread it all around the sponge. Dab off any excess you have. Again, start at the back just in case there's too much on your sponge. And just go all over. You've noticed I've not baked the veins as yet. If you tap your sponge quite lightly, it won't rub the veining off. So just be careful with that. You can hear my son in the background. He's watching one of his usual videos. So you can see that's just gave another effect to the skin over the top of the veins, so they're toned down a bit as well. So you can do as many layers of these as you want. Just build it all up. If it looks too, if it's not showing up as much, just go over it again. Or don't dab your sponge off as much. Just make sure that you get that you dab any excess that comes on the kit, so that it's not building up in blobs in places. So dab the excess off. And all around. I tend to do more around the nipple area, belly button. There. So when it dries, it obviously won't look as blotty as that. But yeah, if there is anywhere that's, like I say, looking too much of a build-up, just dab it off. Okay, you see some parts of it are drying now. It won't look like that. Just always make sure it dries thoroughly before you put in another coat on or anything. So all round the legs. Keep turning your sponge so there's no lines and things. Tend to do a bit more around the feet because they tend to be a bit more redder. Like I say, most of the thing that I do is what you do on a normal reborn, but obviously I emphasise the veining, I emphasise the blues, capillaries and things underneath the skin, just to give it that more of a 3D effect. So there we go. You can see on the head already that it's going to be needing another mottling layer. So yeah, always make sure you do the veins before the mottling layer, just so that this layer actually tones it down a bit, and it's underneath this layer then. I mean, you don't want it, well, I don't want it to tone down a lot because I like the effect, but it does give that effect of it being underneath the skin like a vein would be. So right, as you can see, that red layer is dried, but I think I want some more red on him. On him? Her. On her. Get used to saying her, Claire. Right, you can see there's some colour build up on the nose, so I'm just going to take that off. I don't want too much in there. So I'm just dabbing off any, because I put a bit, I didn't dab the sponge off. Obviously there's a lot of colour build up, so just dab any excess off. I just wanted more colour, so there you can see more colour and more 3D effect on her now. Just take a bit more off the nose. So there's the belly, you can see all the 3D-ing. What I'm going to do is take some of that red and just emphasise on the belly button a bit. maybe so then I just put quite a lot of red on there, but you can just dab it off. So there, just dab any excess off. But we're just building the colour up now. Around there. Bless you. So there, we just build up, and just dabbing really, really gently so we can keep the colour in it. There, and we just build up. So obviously around the belly button, nipples would be more red. I think this is more of like a newborn, so there'll be more blue obviously around the belly button. So there, you can see starting to come together and starting to come more realistic. So the next stages will be for the creasing. So I'm going to be doing the creasing all round the mouth, the nose, ears, everywhere that you obviously need depth. So I'll be doing that next, and we'll see what happens with, I like the darkening of the eyes for the vampires. So I'm hoping that tiny little mouth will be able to fit some of my fangs in. So we'll see. I'm just getting the nose a bit darker to give that some depth. And you've got this the dip in the mouth. I think it's called a philtrum. A lot of people call it different things, but I think it's actually a philtrum. I've heard that somewhere before. So yeah, like you've just shown you in the nose there, it just starts adding depth to the areas that we need to. So as I always say, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this. If it's been of help to you, it's always nice to know if it's helped someone. Subscribe. If you subscribe to the channel, or the notification bell, you'll be notified then of any new uploads I'm doing. So I'll see you on the next video. Okay, bye.